And I think the Singe we knew was coming once the Gnar was locked in. I think he's actually going to play this, and I think it's still strong.
I think Rammus is probably the way, though. You know, honestly, kind of like the idea of Rammus just taunting a LeBlanc. She dives in, and then you can just kill her. That would be pretty funny. But it's going to be a Mumu instead. All right. DRX fans out in force. Not exactly the greatest, you know, as far as value from that ward is concerned, but it's all right.
Yeah. Both teams played that really well. DRX hoping, okay, we're going to catch them since they did that leash, and then otherwise going, oh, they think we're leashing harder, let's go a little bit earlier. Ends up winning out for DRX, though, getting that stack. Yep. Zeka, we mentioned this, 8-0 now on the Akali here in the LCK.
Yeah, he's doing pretty well. As a hook's going to connect onto Deft here towards bottom side already. Has to flash to get himself out of the way. Beryl standing his ground.
Yeah, not going to quite hit 6 off of this, but should be able to on his way to the Herald fight if he can secure it, because there's a rotation.
Yeah, Croco just walking towards Deft here. Deft doesn't have flash available just yet as they're flashing on top of him. The chains come down. Croco may have overextended, but at what cost? The Viego's going to fall down as well. Zeka doing his best to try and get as much damage down as he can, as Beryl is very, very close to just destroying everyone. Kael's going to go down. The Amumu does as well, and Zeka may not have any more. Prince, the biggest beneficiary of this situation, as the backflip's good from Zeka, but the flash from Prince will get him.
Nice flash there to secure the kill. And over here on the top side, Kingen is going to trade aggressively with his Gnar bar, but it doesn't matter. 2 massive kills and an assist over to Prince, who's now in a bit of danger.
Yeah, there's the bandage toss, the cleanse. A little bit later than usual, but still, it's absolutely fine. Croco's down here. As Deft is going to mist himself. Beryl trying to get out. There's another one, though. Piercing Darkness comes down. They manage to take down the Zeri. What else can they get, though, is the question, as Beryl goes golden as well. Kyle's here. Beryl's surviving for so long. He's just crying on top of this Nautilus. He's walking it out. There's the pillar. And eventually he'll go down. Kyle trying to stand his ground. The flash on cooldown again for Deft. And Kyle will survive.
Now the call here for Pyosik is not to come over here and try to turn this one around, but to try to rush down this Rift Herald instead. And so he is looking to do so. And you see the defensive vision set up for Dove as well, just kind of showcasing that he's not comfortable in this matchup to feel like he can actually go forward. Croco.
Yeah, speaking of going forward, Croco taking a lot of damage here. Subjugate does have to go down. Into the mist they go as Beryl gets the stun onto Croco. Dawning Shadow comes down, but Croco still alive. Zeka looking for a way in, but Pyosik is going to burn down. There's the perfect execution. Deft healing himself to get away from Prince, who has to flash to escape Beryl, and Zeka now Closer's moved his way forward. Deft wants to keep them alive, but he's not quite able to. They managed to troll them out as well, as Closer is just dashing back and forth, but the 5-point strike is going to be there. Prince, however, was just ignored, and Zeka is going to be taken down as well, and the Zeri is just massive now.
Yeah, so now this game is going to be about how do we contain the Zeri, because yes, extra kills going over to Zeka here, picks up a bounty, and this is one of those barrel calls. You could feel the barrel call where he's like, no, I trust my team has enough mechanics to actually win on this fight. I know Zeka can actually extend this trade and actually end up getting kills here, so I'm going to force this, I'm going to sacrifice myself, and we're going to pull this off. Because when you watch him go in at first, you're like, whoa, I don't know about that. It's a barrel call, right? But he's able to help his team actually win this extended fight. And yes, in terms of trading and in terms of kills, it's not a win, but they got Zeka online, which was so incredibly important, as mentioned before, because he needs gold so desperately. And yeah, Zeri's already ahead. So it's going to be a tough game, but at least now Akali's got money.
Well, there's a wallop and a Gnar, and I don't even think Pyosik was needed up there towards that top side. As, yeah, Dove's going to turn back. He's like, Croco, what did you do? What happened up here, mate? He doesn't get the shuriken backflip, though, as Pyosik in position. They're trying to lock down Kyle, but now they're looking to turn it. Croco has the subjugate down, but first the Sad Mummy to come through first, and Croco will be taken. Cannon Barrage largely ignored. Prince also, once again, largely ignored, as the dredge line does go wide.
Yeah, we have to give credit where it's due, as Closer's in trouble.
Yeah, Zeka is just chasing him down. Deft with the flash to come through. The perfect execution, and Zeka's immediately back. Prince, though, looking to try and lock this one down, does secure the center, as that barrel was just massive, as Dove is just making up for lost time. Depth charge comes through. Kingan's going to have to flash. Will he have the hop in time is the question, as Beryl and Croco are fighting. I don't know whether I'd have money on the sad mommy in that regard, as that is a phenomenal pillar. And in the meantime, Prince is taking even more. Kingan off to the other side, and this is just a disaster for DRX. Kingan just wants to take as many minions as he can, and now I think they will stand up and recognize Prince because he's 8-1-2.
Yeah, and this is going to be an insanely fast Baron with the items they have online. DRX.
Yeah, the barrel is just fantastic, as well as Zeka. They're taking him for a walk here, as Croco's going to come through yet again. A fantastic pillar. Zeka's going to go golden. It'll get the bad news as he tries the perfect execution out, but he gets into melee range of the Trundle, who chomps him. And Liv Sandbox looking like they'll absolutely just outlast their opposition. Prince he's just been the beneficiary of everything in this first game for Liv Sandbox.
And when you're in a position like this, like, he does have to cleanse here, but that's all. Like, that was the only moment of fear. You have Phantom Dancer, so you could chase forever, and there's no way out. You're already Zeri. So that's why extending like this just ends up being the wrong call. If you're playing against almost any other meta 80 carry, you walk away, at least with maybe trading 1-for-1 as DRX, but not against Zeri, as this is just Zeka getting punished on the wrong side of the map right before Drake, so they get to push an inner and pick up that Infernal Soul point.
Yep, shutdown goal going over to Croco there as well.
Yeah.
As Kingan looking for the Trundle here. Closer's going to come down though. Mega Gnar is going to land onto just one as the slow comes through with the Everfrost. Deft off to the side, but the Gnar is just not going to last. Prince is just way too massive. Cannon Barrage came down yet again. DRX just trying to get out of this area. And this outer turret is just going to be the start of DRX's problems, as Beryl's going to have to throw down the ulti. He tries to stay alive, but it's just not going to work. Piercing Darkness is basically doing nothing. A Dredge line again, absolutely fantastic, as Zeri picks up yet another kill. Liv Sandbox, they're going to push through, grab this turret as well, and that may not be all.
Yeah, I mean, with the Baron buff still having a little bit of time left, they can push this so quickly. And I mean, I hate to say it, DRX, but I think you put yourself in a very high execution draft, fell behind early, and now there's just no hope.
Yeah, and Zeka got the backflip there onto Closer, but it does not matter at all.
Quite truthfully is, unless, again, DRX can have some incredible mechanical outplay.
Oh, another brilliant pillar from Croco, as Heartbreaker has to be used to get Pyoshik out of here. He goes golden. As Cannon Barrage comes down as well. Pyoshik looking to try and get out of there, but he's not going to be useful in this fight any longer. Closer is extraordinarily low, but Prince is still at full health, ladies and gentlemen. There's the perfect execution, but I don't know whether it's going to win them the fight, as it's a double kill on the other side of it, as Prince is just dashing forward. Flashes on top of Deft, who has to flash away, but that ain't going to do it. It's a triple for now. There is a Penta underneath these two Nexus turrets if Liv Sandbox want to get it, but instead, they just want to win the game, ladies and gentlemen. This game one is all over, and Liv Sandbox will upset DRX in the first one.
Very impressive win here from Liv Sandbox.
At the end of this game, it was just an absurd Zeri pop-off.
My positive note for DRX is that Beryl shot calling, despite the deficit, was incredibly good. Him trying to get Zeka back into the game and the way that DRX played, basically with one hand tied behind their back, was very impressive. I think those laughs from Closer and Duff are very telling, that Liv Sandbox are like, you know what, Comfort actually sometimes is the answer. But DRX have a much stronger draft this time around than they did previously.
DRX fans pretty loud, but Liv Sandbox also raising their voices a little bit after that game one victory. Maybe didn't want to get that close, but Croco's going to come on over and look whether he can steal this one away, and does so successfully. Very nicely done. Playing some baseball this time around. Tried out one of the newer skins there. I'm going to have to hold that thought for a moment. Prince taking a lot of damage as the sticks get removed.
Man, if that handshake connects, he might actually have to flash. He has plans, of course, available, but still. very, very scary moment there. He's just barely able to dodge it. Meanwhile,
yeah, Pioshik gonna walk past here, and Croco has Closer waiting in the wings. Gets notice of that, and will flash to get himself out of the way. Thankfully, no camps to lose.
Closer was, and then they decided to play a little bit more passively. So as a result, this gank now very late with setup.
Yeah, hostile takeover comes through. Immediately it's cleansed, but Prince, only level 5 on Kyle. Fate's Call will come down. Prince is just dead as the Rend is going to be pulled out, and now Beryl at 200 health. Still underneath this turret, wanting to take down the Tom Kandrew. Hits level 6 just that little bit too late.
Top side, they are forcing this, though. Cannon Barrage to clear these minions from Kingen.
He's going to Heartbreaker his way out. Holds onto the flash for now, but a little bit of a whoopsie there as Deft is going to get ulted by Prince, and now Deft trying to dance this one out. Oh my god, that was aggressive, and he gets punished for it immediately. Cannon Barrage comes through, Abyssal Dive not going to work out for Kyle here whatsoever, and it's a double kill for the Kalista. Zeka once again finding Croco here in the river, just throwing orb after orb at him. That beach ball goes wide. There's the flash from Pioshik, who will heartbreak Croco to death. And now closes underneath his turret. It's like, where did my mates go?
Yeah, this is just a disaster for Liv Sandbox. Everything about that was so cleanly played from Deft and Beryl. And you see Dove is catching that wave top side, so not going to be any CS loss for him. But can they get the punish game going here? Because Zeka does have ultimate. He's trapped.
Ooh, immediate subjugate there onto Pioshik, who's trying to dash his way out. It's a decent pillar, as Pioshik's kind of in no man's land. No flash, but is going to survive. Deft now 1 versus 5. Possibly just the wrong position there, Def. Yeah, he lasts a while, but that is going to be shut down gold. Going over to Prince.
Tank up some of the damage because he
just... No flash, no devour, right?
Yeah.
So, Closer's now going to get Cannon Barrage as Beryl's moving on in. Shirelli is going to come out here as the hostile takeover is going to spell the death of Closer. He does go golden. And he will be able to portal jump a little distance, but doesn't even manage to do that as Deft grabs his 4th kill of the game. As Zeka is going to be found here by the Trundle. Another shockwave to come through, and Croco has to get out of there. Zeka getting surrounded by so many, but the rest of his team is going to be here, and Deft is the priority target. So the Orianna will be able to just dance her way out of there.
So many good moments here for DRX in crisis situations like this. Zeka holds his flash, the team rotates over, they trade up here in terms of damage, so Zeka's just going to get into the side lane and back away for free, and they should be able to defend this turret.
Another stun going to come down here as well, as the handshake onto Dove is just going to be the 5th kill for Deft. DRX just, they're a death squad, just moving around, taking out whichever target that they see first.
And unfortunately for Liv Sandbox, this is a team comp that fights together or should not fight at all. When split up like this with low health bars, you're asking for trouble.
Good little ward as DRX have started off this Baron, as you can see. Liv Sandbox know what's going on.
They have such great turn, too. They are so ready for this.
Yeah, I don't think you should flip it, though, as Bubble is going to connect. Definitely high-value target as Zeka going to get exhausted as well. The bailout comes on through. Can he get a kill? The answer is absolutely not. The Renata's also dead as Kingan's over the wall, and it's a disaster for DRX. Oh, no. Kingan's going to eat an orange, but he's absolutely not K. And Deft can get out, but they're not going to be able to get anything else.
Nope, they're not going to get anything else. Looks like we'll be an escape here just narrowly from Kingen with the unsealed teleport. And, okay, some ring around the rosy action here.
Yeah, Deft, where actually is he? Thank you, Jonah Strong, for making sure you're keeping us on our toes.
He wants to kill.
Yeah, I think he should be able to kill him. And okay, never mind.
Force
that one Mountain Drake, I guess. Well, Deft is definitely going to struggle now. Bubble doesn't connect. He moves out of the way of the boomerang.
He's buying so much time. This is actually insane.
He definitely is. But Liv Sandbox is still doing what they need to. Some alcove gaming here from Deft as Close is going to pop over. There's the flash that he stole, and that is a dead Kalista. Now Kingen over this wall. The barrel's not going to be enough. Should be able to get out, but Croco has found Zeka. Barrel also out of position. DRX, this is not the position you want to be in, but Cannon Barrage is going to be there, so at least they'll be able to get Dove, and actually Pioshik will make it out to safety. Okay, never mind. Devour exists, and so therefore no one will die.
I mean, that was a great turnaround here for DRX, yet again, buying time, but the end result is very likely to be the same. Dove has teleport, so even though he nearly dies, he will be right back into the fight here for Elter. 10 seconds on this. Choke point controlled here for Liv Sandbox. A Barrel's rotating around the edge, has no ultimate. There's no Cannon Barrage. They had to use those tools defensively here. Oh, no vision. This is a great setup for Liv Sandbox. The pocket is real.
Oh dear, Deft now He cleanses early. He does have a stopwatch to break as well, as Pioshik's going to try and keep him alive, and he is going to survive this one as Zeka teleported in. Now Kingen on the flank, and he's just waiting for that cannon barrage to be back off cooldown again, as Croco just going to get shot by that blunderbuss as DRX move back into position. This is so tense.
So tense. DRX on the edge here. No vision except that Scuttle Crab.
Yeah, but Deft is completely out of the fight. He has no health right now at all, as he needs to try and lifesteal off the minions in the mid lane. He is doing so as the barrels doing a fair bit of work there to Dove, but he's able to soak them up with all the armor that he's built up.
This is so tense. The armor's running out.
Fate's Call has to be used just to save the Renata from the bubble, as Beryl now in position to get that hostile takeover. Oh, it's stolen by Croco somehow. He is going to die for it. No, he won't, because Kyle's got another Devour. This is just absurd. Yes, the Gnar goes down, but Elder Drake was picked up by Liv Sandbox.
But he doesn't end up hitting it. He just dodges it here, sidesteps it, and gets the steal. Beautiful play from Croco. Without this game is most surely over. Oh, what a play. Gets through. I'm hyped with this game right now. This could go either way still.
But it absolutely could. I mean, Elder's pretty powerful, and Pioshik will find his way back to the rest of his team. And man,
this is so tense. I mean, it doesn't get crazier than this. Liv Sandbox once again wrapping around. Dove is trying to get that Narvar. They cannot fight without it, but he's so close to it.
Yeah, they're desperately trying to find the right options. Is Pioshik going to go down so incredibly low? The orb, they need to pay attention to it, but it snaps back towards Zeka. Pioshik now very, very low.
We're going to try to back and come back in here, but it's going to give so much time.
Oh, Bubble is going to connect once again. It's onto Zeka. He does have a stopwatch this time, and he will survive.
The Sandbox going to hold this aggro. This is going to force Pioshik to stay. He has no health.
Yeah, Clozo, that's the one that he was looking for, as Beryl trying to get into position, and he blocks. There's the handshake as well onto Closer as he gets lit on fire. The rest of DRX now trying to take this as their opportunity. Dove, the Narvar's decent, but the Zoe is dead, and now DRX are chasing them down 4v5.
No. But they don't have a choice. I mean, there's no opportunity without Closer here. They're set up for a fight. DRX is going to rotate over and check this. They've got the Scrowlers. They're teleporting. They want to deny it.
Yeah, they're teleporting. They want it all. They want to get this Elder, and they want to go all the way back as well, as Kingen is going to go golden, has his blunderbuss out. Looks really cool while he does it. Has a hostile takeover. He's going to get rid of the Tom Kench. Oh my god, Croco! He just explodes. It's the Gangplank. Smeb flashbacks right now, as Deft, the huge dragon that he is, will help lock down that last kill. It's an ace, and we are going to game 3.
A fantastic performance here for DRX against all odds. So slow. They wrapped all the way around, got scryers, and found angles that didn't even seem possible, as Closer will be the last to fall. Yeah. He was the first to fall. Now he respawns as DRX win the game. And Atlas, that was such a great performance by this squad of DRX around vision control, around wrapping around. Good shot calling again from Barrel here. And they pull it off.
They certainly do, as Deft heads into the enemy fountain. And unfortunately, Closer did find a couple of these bubbles, but the rest of Liv Sandbox were never there to actually capitalize. And sometimes you have it, sometimes you don't. This game, I mean, these damage numbers weren't all that relevant. And Closer, oh my god, we're doing it. We're doing it. The top lane pigeon. This is the Dove special, because of course, you know, he was a mid laner. He was named after this champion, and so the Azir going into his hands makes a lot of sense. So here it is.
All right, so and going back to what you were saying, I feel like the Xayah build, we'll see what we get, but like,
well, Track Repel is set up here as Barrel's going to have to flash. Okay, crash down. Can he actually escape the situation is the question, as the flash comes out from Prince. The Track Repel finally going to be used here as Prince going down so low depth. Can he get it? And he does. Koshik's going to come down as well, as the Blade Caller gets the snare, and the flash has to come through from the Tom Kench. I believe it was first blood to Prince. Going to claim some control, has the life lead at least, but he's tanking a lot of minions.
If DRX can force a fight on their terms.
Well, there's a grab at him. Featherstorm going to tidy up the minion wave, so we're trading ults between our 280 carries on the bottom side.
If we see a big Rel ult here, I think DRX could take this, but it's just so difficult. He's out of position.
Yeah, Croco gets control of the Rift Herald, whose patience is going down very low. Dove now in the area as well. As can Croco get in? The answer is absolutely yes. And he locks this one down. Yoshik, can he get out? And yes, he does. Emperor's Divide's going to land onto two as Zeka's diving forward once again. Croco locks down the Rel as Zeka just has no damage left remaining. Orb of Deception, though, will come on through, and he gets the extra essence as well. Charm lands, Chain doesn't. And it's going to be the Ahri that is able to secure this one. Another W comes through, and Dove manages to pick up the kill under Pyoshik.
Has kick, no flash.
DRX are going to move themselves back. There's the separation immediately. Pyoshik was in position though. They're looking to lock down Kyle. Immediately the Breakcaller is going to do it. Attract Repel. Stuns up Croco, but in comes the LeBlanc with so much value. Pyoshik though is just going to get these resets. Closes in trouble now as Pyoshik gets access to Lee Sin, which he absolutely loves. Grabs another kill as well, this time onto the LeBlanc, and DRX are back on the board.
DRX absolutely on the back on the board for this, and on the other side of the map. Is it enough, is the question. Zeka.
Yeah, Dove looks for the Emperor's Divide, finds it here as well as the Abyssal Dive comes through from Kyle. Not quite enough damage though, as you can see here, as he gets another Arise, and that will lock down the Ahri. Now Beryl tries to crash over the wall, but crashes into the wall instead. And Closer's going to lock down that kill, so definitely a big trade up here for... Well, you can see Beryl tidying up vision where he can. DRX are going to make their way into the river. Everfrost not going to find too much value, but the Moonlight Vigil absolutely does. Zeka in so much trouble as they have to back away. The Everfrost going to be avoided with the Spirit Rush as Kyle maybe a little bit overly aggressive there. He's going to have to flash to get himself out of the way. Cannon Barrage will secure the kill as Pyoshik turns into a catfish and makes his way out. But Shirley is going to be picked up by Croco and then slammed down into the mid lane immediately. Live Sandbox will have control here. They'll be able to open up so much of the map with this.
Now, this is massive. Again, controlling the map, controlling these turrets is where LeBlanc is going to shine. It's where Lee Sin is going to shine. And you really just get to keep more longevity. Whoa.
That's a big old flash forward. Def is going to be able to help use the ulti to take down Shirley. Seen so many move towards Barons when the soul is very, very important. As Beryl, what was he doing there? He got kicked back by Croco. Now it makes sense.
Yep, and I mean, suddenly, Live Sandbox can actually start this Baron up. And with, I mean, realistically here, DRX, if they reacted immediately, like as fast as possible, they could trade this for a Drake, but you don't want that trade.
Well, Blade of the Ruin King now going to be used to take the Viego for a walk day here for Closer. Meanwhile, towards that top side, Kingen holding on to... No, has thrown down the ultimate already. Zeka dives in, Dove goes golden. Croco in the back of the pit right now as Deft is going to move on over here. Moonlight Vigil, I believe, went completely wide as now they all just get into the pit, but it's Croco that locks down the smite. The Azir goes down extraordinarily low as Deft is still alive, but so is Prince, and he's absolutely gigantic. Croco dives onto Deft right here as the Magnet Storm comes in from Beryl, trying to tidy up here as best he can. Orb of Deception's pretty strong, as now Beryl finds even more. Zeka getting on over there, but Beryl cannot do it by himself, and Deft is on sub 100 health.
Meanwhile, fight for this.
Yeah, there's a Drake fight. Deft is just standing in front of Closer and now taking damage from the Drake as well. So he's down extraordinarily low, no ulti available. Kingen just in the back of the pit. He's just going to run up, shoot Prince, but what? How did Deft get that? Was that a Blade Caller from Narnia? What the hell happened?
Doesn't have ult, but is still able to get that Blade Caller off and actually take the Drake away. He's 3-0-4.
Look, the siege is continuing. No Baron still available, as we're going to see how... Because there were feathers lined up.
Yeah, just have to watch the smite here.
Okay. Oh yeah, there we go. So the two feathers in position.
Yoink. Bye-bye. On my way out casually. Still though, Live Sandbox could have been amazing for them, but it's still pretty great. And do a lot of damage.
Yeah, they've already started this one up. Croco moving on to Vision. Beryl going to crash over the wall. And Kingen is in here. Croco taking a lot of damage. I believe they got the bad news. This is getting taken as Closer uses his Everfrost a little bit too early. Chains are going to miss as well. As Croco gets into the pit, he wins these, but not this time. Closer takes a lot of damage as well, as now DRX are looking to win the fight, as well as everything else. Deft flashes out of the pit, stays alive for so extraordinarily
Prince,
long, but now
though.
Prince is completely popping off. Somehow Closer also survived throughout this entire time as Kingen, he needs to try and back as best he can. Dove's gonna take down Deft for the first time this game, and that was, I believe, a teleport to a
Yeah, he
Nexus
teleports.
turret.
But I think that the game is going to end before he gets to use any of that Baron buff. He can at least use it defensively, I suppose. But teleport mid here, and the rotation over of Closer means this is very likely Live Sandbox upsetting here 2-1 against DRX.
And they've done it before as well. It's like history repeats itself once again as Closer dives on top of King, and he's doing some pretty fancy footwork, but it's not going to save his Nexus as Croco goes down to his GA and the Nexus gets destroyed.
Has continued to hold true here as well. Like, DRX's tougher opponent is on Friday in T1, but Live Sandbox probably the series they thought they kind of had on lock, as all analysts predicted them to take it as well. And you know what? Live Sandbox surprises us again. Uncharacteristic, or not uncharacteristic, actually characteristic, but unusual drafting from them, putting Dove on the top Azir, making it work.
Thank you very much, guys. This is Jason for the POG interview translation, joined by the Live Sandbox POG's Prince and Dove. You guys are the first team to take down DRX, the one of the undefeated teams in the summer split so far. How was today's series? When we were prepping this series, you know, we knew that they have never faced top teams yet, so that's why they are undefeated. But still, we wanted to do our best and like just go for whatever we prepared for today's series. What about you, Prince and Dove? To be honest, I did, you know, prepare Azir top, even in Spring Split, but finally I was able to pull it off and even win the POG. We'll get back to the top Azir pick later, but I want to ask you about the Zeri in game number 1 first. Zeri was popping off in that game, but DRX was the one letting it through and countering it with a Mumu. Yeah, looking at the skills itself, you know, Zeri can kind of counter a Mumu, right? Yeah, so I was like, why did they even prepare a Mumu into Zeri? But still, a Mumu was so tanky, so I also kind of figured why they prepared that pick into this matchup, because he was so tanky that Zeri cannot actually just burst him down. And Prince, how do you rate Zeri right now in the current patch? This is what I said in game number 1 draft, because the moment we locked in Zeri, I was like, we won the game. Is that because Zeri is OP right now? Or is that because you are also good at Zeri when the pick is strong? Zeri is obviously very strong, but I can for sure say that I have really high understanding of the champion. So was that you playing this so well, or was that Zeri being so strong that you were able to get 13 out of 13? I am just Zeri itself, you know? What about you, Dove? In game 3, Live Sandbox decided to go for the red side. Prior to today's series, it was actually losers always picking the blue side whenever they had the side selections, but this time around, Sandbox went for the red side for the first time of the split. Because you said you prepared starting from the Spring Split. It's pretty hot on stage, right? Could you answer the question for me, Dov? In solo queue, there is a top Azir player in Korean solo queue. He's like on top of the ladder. So I learned from him, and then I kind of realized that this is gonna be a viable pick. Any message over to the Azir top god in Korean solo queue? But I think I play better than him though, so you know, I guess you learned from me, or you can learn from me from now on. And also, that solo queue player also have an experience of playing into GP top. So how did you plan to play out the lane? I took first strike. I was looking for the late game power spike. It was not my own plan. It was a plan of my entire team. So we wanted to just go 50-50 in lane and then, you know, look for the late game. And this time around, we saw the crown of the Shattered Queen on Azir. I copied his itemization. It was really good. I guess that top Azir player in Korean solo queue shares a lot of credit of today's victory. However, game 3 was not easy, and we had a very risky play around that Baron. Were you guys confident that you're gonna take the Baron for sure? No, not really. I made a mistake because I was too confident that we got the Baron, so I was not zoning out the opponent. So had I played it that way, it would have been a perfect play in that moment. And I also have a replay that I want to watch together with you guys because, Prince, you were flashing forward as an Aphelios. So let's take a look at it together. How were you able to become so bold? The opponents were all grouped up, you know, in that Baron's pit, and then after I used my ult, I realized that Daft actually reacted with his ult, and which means he doesn't really have other tools to survive. So I wanted to push harder, just flash in order to secure the kills. I think my teammates did a fantastic job, so I had to make that play. And I have another question about your late game regression. Looking at the goal difference throughout the game, you guys actually have a minus goal difference up until 30 minutes into the game, but you guys always make a comeback. I think we have high potential for the mid to the late game, but it also kind of displays that we have a miserable stats for the early game, which means we have to really improve. You guys really want to improve on the early game, right? Yeah, because we somehow managed to turn the game around in the later phase, but we really have to work on our early game. Who's the centerpiece of Leap Sandbox's late game? Croco. Mostly. He's a proactive player on our side, roaming, making a lot of rotation around the map, and just like taking the charge of our team. And your next opponent will be Frederick Brion, which could be your third match win streak. I think Frederick Brion, early on in the split, they're not doing that well, but still we will not let our guards down, you know? We will do our best to pick up the win. And I also, KB Bank sponsor, supporting us here at the Lowell Park. So I want to say thank you for everyone who supported us today. What about you, Dove? Well, I think we have built up a good momentum so far, but I think we really have to keep our guards up. And also today we had Shinhan Bank versus KB Bank matchup here at Lowell Park, and I'm so happy that we are able to beat the Bank Derby here at the LCK. And we have a new app for the KB Bank, which is Leap Next. Make sure to download that app on the App Store as well. I'm pretty sure the sponsors are feeling super happy about this interview as well. And that will be the end of the interview from Dove and Prince, and back to the carpet Spacemans. Thank you.